This broadcast is brought to you courtesy of amateur radio station VK7AX in Ulverstone, northwest Tasmania.
Welcome to the VK7 Amateur Radio News, and this was first broadcast on Sunday the 24th of November 2024, and we bring you the latest from the world of amateur radio in VK7. This week joining you from the Tasmanian Amateur Radio News Desk is Justin, VK7TW. Tune in as we share updates and insights across VK7, brought to you on an array of platforms and frequencies. On DMR Talk Group 5 and D-Star Reflector 91 Charlie, managed by Gavin, VK7HGO. On medium and high frequency rebroadcast, thanks to our following dedicated rebroadcast operators. 1.862 MHz by Graham, VK7GS, 3.670 MHz by Gary, VK7JGD, and 7.140 MHz by Ross, VK7ALH. 14130 by Any Takers, and 28525 MHz by Tony, VK7VKT, and UHF-CB Channel 24 in the Hobart area, hosted by Mark, VK7FMAC. And if you missed today's broadcast, then you can catch the replay on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. on repeaters VK7RAA in northern VK7 and VK7RHT and UHF-CB 24 in southern VK7. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy the broadcast. And we start with some statewide news. The Thursday night SSTV net, and due to VK7RAF being off air, it was a quiet net night that saw the following north and northwest participants: VK7's ZAB and EV sharing nearly 20 photos. The highlights were a multi-band antenna mast, kite flying, family go-kart racing, Tulip Farms in Tasmania, the 2024 National Veterans Vehicle Rally at the Automobile Museum of Tasmania with pre-1919 cars and bikes, including the car that held the Australian record for 85 miles per hour, an echidna-looking wheel chock, Fatso the Wombat, and That's Your Lot in Dutch. Note, if you missed the net nights, there are archives of these SSTV nights. These photos can be seen on the NTARC website under blogs. Don't forget to use your own photos and those that are copyright free. 73 from Andre, VK7ZAB. And news from the Northwest, VK7RVP back on air. The Northwest Coast Radio Repeater Association has put VK7RVP back on the air in the 70cm amateur band and with a 78 MHz repeater for the Northwest Car Club. Australia's top gravel rally championship was hosted in Tasmania by the Northwest Car Club for the first time in 20 years. This year's rally will be held in the areas from Burnie to the forests south of Morbana. The club asked the North West Coast Radio Repeater Association if they could use St. Valentine's Peak as the perfect location for repeater communication during the rally on Friday the 22nd of November. The Australian Rally Championship runs in forest areas requiring radio coverage from Una through to the southwest of Morbana. 2 weekends ago, a combined Car Club and Radio Repeater Association expedition carried up and installed the rally event repeater, the amateur repeater, and a heap of other equipment including battery management electronics, antennas and 5 GHz microwave internet link, and the repaired duplexes for the original 6-metre transceiver. Steady work from the NWCRRA put the new roof on the historic Summit Radio Shack and repaired damage to the solar battery array, bringing the heartbeat back to this remote mountaintop radio repeater. The 70cm channel is on 438.775 MHz with a negative 7 MHz split and is already busy with VK7 traffic, providing radio coverage across the northwest as far as Launceston and even across the Strait to VK3. This work brings the repeater site VK7RVP out of a long sleep and back on the air with great big cheers from local radio amateurs. Many radio amateurs across the state have keenly missed the punchy coverage of the 6-metre VK7RVP repeater, which went silent after the aluminium roof of the hut was torn off in a violent storm in 2020. Although 6 metres isn't on the air yet, the North West Coast Radio Repeater Association is on the job, so keep your rigs tuned in for more on this story soon. And support your local Radio Repeater Association. And that comes 73 from the NWCRRA. And Northwest Tasmanian Amateur Radio Club. And the next club meeting will be commencing at 1:30 p.m. on Saturday the 7th of December 2024 at the usual location, the Scout Hall, 73 Alexandra Road, Ulverstone. Afternoon tea will also be held, and members are encouraged to bring items for show and tell, and club rooms are open until 6 p.m. for members to socialise. A small plate of afternoon tea would be appreciated, and we have tea, coffee, etc. available for members and guests, and visitors are most welcome to attend. If you have any cold or flu symptoms or are unwell or have been in contact with a confirmed COVID case, then please do not attend the meeting. Now, Christmas barbecue. On Saturday the 14th of December, the club will be holding a Christmas barbecue commencing at 1 p.m. in Legion Park, which is off the Esplanade behind the showgrounds at West Ulverstone. The park is accessed by turning east into Maud Street off Queen Street, following the road to the river and barbecue facilities, and this is a BYO food and drinks event. On site there are 2 electric barbecues, toilets, running water and some seats and tables under cover. We welcome other amateurs from around the state attending and socialising with our members. If you have any cold or flu symptoms or are unwell or have been in contact with a confirmed COVID case, then please do not attend the function. The alternative barbecue venue will be the Air Force Park off Tasma Parade, West Ulverstone, and turn right immediately after crossing the bridge over the Leven River, and it is south of the rec centre, which has no toilets, but 2 electric barbecues, no running water and some seats and tables under cover. The club will monitor the Mount Duncan 2-metre repeater the morning of the barbecue, and if the weather conditions are not pleasant, they can advise if it's going ahead. If you have any camping chairs, it may pay to bring your own. 73 from Eric, VK7EV, the news officer of NWTARC. And news from the north, the SOTA WWFF Parks Group and the Summits on the Air Worldwide Flora and Fauna Parks Group meets twice weekly, Mondays and Fridays, 10:30am until 12 at the Glebe Gardens Cafe, Henry Street, Launceston. For more information, contact Al on 0417 354 410, and that's 73 from Al, VK7 Alpha Nancy. And the Northern Tasmanian Amateur Radio Club Incorporated. As mentioned a couple of broadcasts ago, in the Clubroom's Technical Night session, Colin VK7ZCF brought along his new handheld Vector Network Analyzer, or VNA for short, and it was brand new and literally just out of the box. Since then, he's been able to read the manual, acquaint himself with the menu structures, plus some testing, and well, this technical night, Colin reappeared with the same VNA and conducted a mini training session that took us through some of its uses. Most importantly was the calibration of the unit via the menus before actual measurements were made. Not very hard, only requiring a reference 50 ohm termination on the test port, followed by an open circuit and finally a short circuit termination, and you are then ready to go. Colin tested various antennas with the resultant VSWR and Smith chart plots. The very clear 7-inch capacitive screen on the unit certainly helps with some of us more visually challenged onlookers, and for a refresh of the VNA model, it is a SV4401A, manufactured in China under the name Sysjoint. A very versatile unit covering 50 kHz to 4.4 GHz, and have fun experimenting with your new toy, Colin. A quick reminder that the end-of-year NTARC celebration is only just a week away, and to be specific, it is on Wednesday the 4th of December at the Iron Horse Bar and Grill, located at 468 Westbury Road, Prospect Vale, Launceston. It's not too late to register if you are free and wish to attend. Email the secretary at secretary@ntarc.net, or jot your name and number of places required on the registration sheet next to the sign-in book in the club rooms. Tables have been booked under the name of NTARC, and the menu is a la carte. We will be arriving at 6 p.m. for a 6:30 meal. and a link to the Iron Horse location and menu information is available in the text version of this broadcast. As always, pictures will be available on the NTARC website under blogs for this broadcast and up-and-coming events. The Testnet and TechNet session every Wednesday, a Testnet CW course on 3.580 MHz from 7 to 7:30 p.m, then a TechNet on 3.567 MHz from 7:30 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. And your host for the evening is Nick, VK7 Whiskey. And coffee mornings held every Friday in the NTARC clubrooms. Time is from 10 a.m. to noon, and we look forward to seeing you all there, so why not pop in, check your QSL cards and join us for a cuppa. There is endless tea and coffee along with biscuits available for a donation. An end-of-year NTARC celebration locked in for Wednesday the 4th of December. And finally, a reminder to all those members that if you have any items of news that you would like added to the weekly roundup, no matter how trivial, then please email them to the Secretary at the following address, news@ntarc.net. All items to be received no later than 5 p.m. on Friday prior to the broadcast. That's all, folks. 73 from Stefan, VK7ZSB, Secretary of NTARC Inc. And you are listening to VK7 Whiskey India, and this is the VK7 Amateur Radio News broadcast. And news from the south, the Radio and Electronics Association of Southern Tasmania. And end-of-year celebration barbecue and working bee. We will be holding a free barbecue for club members to celebrate a fantastic year at Reist. This will be held after the broadcast on Sunday, December the 8th, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Bring your shovels after lunch. We will be holding a working bee to clean up the shack, run new cables, dig trenches to our tower, and a range of other exciting things. Please let us know if you're coming along, secretary@reist.asn.au, so we can gauge the number for food. See you there from the Reist Committee. And humongous amateur radio car boot sale. Reist will be holding a huge amateur radio car boot sale in the Queen's Domain compound on Sunday the 19th of January from 11 a.m. after the broadcast. Want to sell something? It will cost you $10 to set up your car boot. So then you can sell as much as you want and all profit goes to you. There will be a sausage sizzle on the day with snags and bread for $3, burgers and bread for $5, and soft drinks available for $1 per can. The Reist Club will be selling 5.4 metre and 8.1 metre portable aluminium masks for very reasonable prices. No need to book, just turn up. 73 from the Reist Committee. And a Wednesday Experimenters Night. Last Wednesday night we saw the return of the WEGS night and took a retrospective look at the life and projects of Tom Moffat, VK7TM Silent Key. Much can be gleaned about a person's life from their eulogy or silent key notice, and Tom Moffat is no different. The following tribute is from Brian, VK7RR, via the VK7AR News. Tom was born in the United States of America, and his father had contact with Australia as he had been involved with the design of the navigation equipment for the Jindavik drone program in the 1950s. So it's no wonder that Tom ended up out here. Tom obtained electronic qualifications with the Bell Telephone Company, for whom he worked until the wanderlust hit him. He initially worked in Victoria as Chief of Staff for GTV9, moving to Tasmania with his wife Gail in the early 1970s, whereupon he became the Motorola sales and service agent for Tasmania. Tom was involved with the first amateur television broadcast of the weekly news, the first mobile television broadcast in the Southern Hemisphere, amateur or commercial, and of course the first VK7 RHT. Tom soon became one of the best-known names in Australian amateur circles through his monthly columns in various magazines, an interest which became an occupation over the past 10 years or so. Who will forget Moffat's Madhouse and his monocle? Tom's optometrist made it for him as he refused to wear reading glasses. Tom was a highly intelligent person who had the instinct for new technologies and took to computers like a duck to water. I wonder how many people built his weather satellite decoder over the years, and he sold them in kit form, and many yachties and amateurs were soon checking their own weather long before sound cards and DSP hit the scene. He also built an experimental robot known as the Tasman Turtle, as I remember, and Tom passed away on August the 2nd, 2007. Tom died peacefully on Tuesday evening, leaving Gail, his former wife, who continued to care for him as much as he would let her, 2 daughters, Jenny and Fiona, a son, Stephen, and 3 grandchildren. Farewell, old friend, from Brian, VK7RR. Justin, VK7TW, then showed some examples of the Electronic Australia column Moffat's Madhouse and went into the Tom's projects and kits, starting with the RITI project, then to the Listening Posts 1 and 2, and on to the Pocket Packet Modem using the TCM 33105 FSK modem chip, which featured in EA in January 1993. Justin built one of these kits and showed it on the night. Packet radio is certainly experiencing a resurgence in VK7. We then reviewed the latest Jubis and Low Key magazines. This week we continue on our Packet and APRS journey along with some great historic material. On Wednesday nights, people start arriving at the night around 6 p.m. and many bring their dinner to enjoy. There is always much discussion, experimenting, playing, talking, drinking tea and coffee, serious cunning plan development, and general amateur radio shenanigans and world problem solving in the clubrooms as well. We stream the nights on the Reist YouTube streaming channel, and we go out on RF, DVB-T 7 MHz standard definition on 445.5 MHz, so if you have a TV, set-top box or USB DTV dongle that you can tune or scan 445.5 MHz and you can see the Queen's Domain, then you have a good chance of receiving the DATV Experimenter's Night signal. Look out for VK7 OTC. See you on the stream or there. 73 from yours truly, Justin, VK7 TW. Reist Training and Assessment Update. The Foundation Training and Assessment Days are held every 2 months, and the Standard Advanced and Regulations Licence Assessment held on the alternate months. Dates can be found on the Reist's events page, and the final 2024 Standard Advanced and Regulation Licence Assessment will be held on Saturday the 30th of November 2024 from 2 p.m. Our 2025 training calendar has been drafted and is available on the Reist events page. For bookings, queries and questions, email reist.assessor@gmail.com, and this email is forwarded to the learning organiser who will respond to all requests. Foundation licence training videos. These have been updated to reflect the new class licence arrangements and available on the Reist YouTube Training and Assessment playlist. Additional resources include checking out the WIA Foundation Trial Assessments. 73 from Reg, VK7KK. And you are listening to VK7 Whiskey India, and this is the VK7 Amateur Radio News broadcast. And satellite news, the AMSAT Oscar 7 50th anniversary, a testbed for saving lives. As we observe AMSAT Oscar 7's 50th anniversary as the oldest operating satellite, we should recall what may be its most noteworthy accomplishment. Oscar 7 was used to investigate the possibility of locating downed aircraft and disabled sea vessels by using Doppler analysis of signals from emergency location transmitters, or ELTs. As envisioned by spacecraft engineers from the US and Russia, the concept was to relay signals from beacon devices, ELTs or emergency location transmitters, already installed on large and small aircraft and on ships and smaller vessels equipped with EPIRBs or emergency position indicating radio beacon stations, and these one-way beacon transmitters, originally intended to be received by surface rescue parties, could also be received and transponded by a LEO spacecraft, greatly extending the rescue potential. The signals could also be Doppler tracked one way by processing the beacon up signal on board the spacecraft. This would allow the spacecraft to find the source beacon's location immediately. This would allow the emergency beacon to be identified and located and the position stored for immediate downlink at the next available ground station. We know it is hard to remember this, But in an era before the creation of GPS, scientists from the Russian Kospas, or the Russian acronym for Space Systems for the Search of Vessels in Distress, and the US SARSAT, which is the Search and Rescue Satellite teams, simulated ELTs on the amateur radio stations and demonstrated how receiving and relaying ELT transmissions and analysing Doppler shift as Oscar 7 passed overhead could accurately locate the emergency beacons. The tests were highly successful, and COSPAS and SARSAT programs went ahead and has been operational since 1982. From that time until 2021, when the program merged with others providing similar capabilities via LEO, MEO and GEOSat spacecraft, the program has saved the lives of 57,413 persons in 17,663 separate rescue events involving downed aircrafts and ships at sea. Sourced from the AMSAT News Service via Jan King, who is W3GEY, AMSAT AO7 Project Manager, and sourced from the AMSAT News Service. And technology news, remembering John B. Goodenough, the inventor of the lithium-ion battery. Dr. Goodenough received a Nobel Prize at the age of 97 for his contributions to making the lithium-ion battery a reality. In 2019, at the age of 97, Dr. John B. Goodenough became the oldest person awarded a Nobel Prize, and Goodenough won the Chemistry Prize for the invention of the lithium-ion, or lithium Li-ion, battery, stemming from his 1980s breakthrough that allowed the then experimental and dangerous lithium battery chemistry to leave the lab as a safe and versatile new battery type. Goodenough shared the prize with M. Stanley Whittingham and Akira Yoshino, who both built upon Goodenough's work in commercializing the lithium-ion battery technology. John B. Goodenough was born to American parents in Jena in Germany on July the 25th, 1922. His father was studying in England, and the family was summering in Germany when he was born. With the help of English grammar instructors, the young Goodenough became an undiagnosed case of dyslexia, eventually rising to the top of his class in just a few years, and Goodenough entered Yale in 1940 without a clear purpose or career ambition. He took enough science to keep open the options of medical school. Maths, physics and science appealed to him since those areas seemed popular then and would provide a good basis for graduate school. When the US was drawn into World War II, he felt a great calling to serve his country, though he was described he had no stomach to play a hero in war, unquote. Goodenough was convinced by his mathematics professor Egbert Miles to sign up for the meteorology with the US Army Air Corps. With a delayed start, he continued his studies and was called into active duty in 1943, while still one course short of graduation. Yale University granted him the credit for the US Army meteorological course, and he graduated summa cum laude with the Bachelor of Arts degree in mathematics. After the war, he entered graduate school while still a commissioned army officer, despite being told he was too old to become a physicist and make any significant discoveries. He chose physics as his area of graduate study. Pioneering work in memory, renewables and magnetism. After his service in the US Army Corps, Goodenough embarked on a lifelong career in academics, and his postdoctoral work brought him to the MIT Lincoln Labs, where he was assigned to a project to develop random access memory from the concept of the usable technology. The team's work led to the development of the magnetic core RAM. He later worked in material physics, contributing to the discovery of high-temperature semiconductors, silicon crystal growth, which aided early semiconductor development, and renewable energy, including photovoltaic cell chemistry. And Goodenough was also performed pioneering work on the modern theory of magnetism, leading to the development of the Goodenough-Kanamori rules. The rules are important for modern research in magnetism and have practical applications in telecommunications. After his time at MIT's Lincoln Labs, Goodenough moved to Oxford University, where he began his research that would lead to the lithium-ion breakthrough. He embarked on a 4-year research project that created a cathode with layers of lithium and cobalt oxide. The structure contained pockets of lithium ions, resulting in a stable battery design with higher voltage than previously possible. Lithium-ion batteries built by Goodenough's cathode were shown to deliver 2 to 3 times the energy of any other battery solution available at the time. Goodenough's technology was not, however, exploited immediately. Oxford declined the patent to discovery, and Goodenough passed the rights to the British Atomic Energy Research Organisation. Goodenough's co-Nobel Prize winner Dr. Yoshino made further improvements in the late 1980s that led to the first commercial lithium-ion battery in 1991. Dr. Goodenough left Oxford and finished his final 37 years of his career at the University of Texas, and he was still looking for the next breakthrough in battery technology at the age of 98. He passed away a month before his 101st birthday on June 25, 2023, and much of the modern mobile world depends on the humble battery cell. From Bluetooth headsets to automobiles, batteries for these devices must feature a high energy density and quick, safe charge and discharge over the span of many years and many cycles. In the 1980s, common recharge battery technologies included lead-acid for large capacities and nickel-cadmium for portable devices. While both were sufficient for the needs of the time, they were woefully inadequate for modern mobile electronics and electric car batteries. The lithium-ion rechargeable battery came into common use in the 1990s, just as the market for portable devices was germinating. Since that time, the lithium-ion battery and mobile device industries have grown together at an astonishing rate. The lithium-ion class of battery has been called one of the greatest inventions of human history, and core tenets of this technology can be traced back to the discoveries and inventions of Dr. John B. Goodenough. And that was sourced from the All About Circuits web e-zine. And regular VK7 gatherings and events over the coming months. Regular gatherings. The Sewing Circle Net Daily 3.640 MHz commencing at 6:30 p.m. AEST. Statewide Microwave QSO Party following the Sunday broadcast on 1296.15 FM, one group in the Greater Hobart area and one in the Greater Launceston area. Then North-South Digital Contacts on 1296.2 MHz using Q6560B. Stations in the Launceston area transmitting on the odd minute and southern stations on the even minute. The Reist Wags Wednesday afternoon group from 12 noon in the Reist Clubrooms, Queen's Domain. Reist Wags, the Wednesday experimenters group from around 6 p.m. in the Reist Clubrooms, Queen's Domain. The SOTA and Worldwide Flora and Fauna group meeting Mondays and Fridays, 10:30 a.m. to 12 midday at the Glebe Gardens Cafe, Henry Street, Launceston. NTARC Testnet and TechNet sessions every Wednesday night. Testnet CW course 3.58 MHz, that's from 7 to 7:30 p.m. and TechNet on 3.5670 MHz from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. NTARC coffee mornings are held every Friday at the NTARC Clubrooms. Time is from 10 a.m. until noon in the Rochalie Clubrooms, northwest of VK7. Wednesday from 8 p.m. local is the Northwest Tassie Amateur Repeater Group Net on 2 metres, VK7 RMD and Node 56780 MHz. Northwest of VK7 Thursday nights commencing at 8:30 p.m. the Northwest Tassie 2 metre DX net on 144.190 USB. Events NTARC December the 4th, end of year celebration at the Iron Horse Bar and Grill, located 468 West Bree Road, Prospect Vale, Launceston. Let the Secretary know if you're coming along. NWTARC December the 7th is the club meeting and show and tell, Scout Hall 73 Alexandra Road, Ulverstone from 1:30 p.m. Reist December the 8th, end of year free barbecue and spring clean workshop from 11 a.m. after the broadcast at the Queen's Domain Clubrooms. NWTARC December the 14th, the Christmas BYO barbecue, Legion Park, West Ulverstone from 1 p.m. Reist January the 19th, 2025, car boot sale of the century and sausage sizzle, Queen's Domain Clubrooms from 11 a.m. And a reminder to those people rostered for next week's broadcast, newsreader VK7ZIR repeaters, Reist, NTARC and NWTARC 160 metres VK7GS, 80 metres VK7ALH, 40 metres VK7JGD, 20 metres any takers, 10 metres VK7TW, UHF CB24, VK7FMAC, DMR Torque Grip 5 and D-Star Reflector 91C VK7HGO. And a huge thank you to all people and organisations that assisted with this broadcast. That wraps up this week's edition of the VK7 Amateur Radio News. We hope you found it informative and enjoyable. You have been listening to VK7 Whiskey India. Stay tuned for callbacks on the frequency that you're currently listening to. Relay stations will use their own call signs during the time. On behalf of the entire VK7 Amateur Radio News team, this is Justin VK7 at Tangled Whiskers, wishing you 73, stay safe and have a fantastic week.